The Galactic Council had always considered humans to be peculiar creatures. Ambassador Zethkar of the Vorthak Empire watched the human delegation with barely concealed disdain as they entered the pristine chambers of the Council station orbiting Nexus Prime. The humans were small, soft-skinned, and laughably fragile compared to the other species that dominated the galaxy. Their homeworld Earth was unremarkable, a tiny blue marble in an insignificant spiral arm, inhabited by bipedal mammals who had only achieved faster-than-light travel 3 decades ago. Primitive, Zethkar muttered to his aide, his 4 eyes tracking the human ambassador Sarah Chen as she took her seat at the junior species table. They barely qualify for observer status. The Galactic Council represented 47 advanced civilizations, each having conquered multiple star systems and wielded technology that could reshape worlds. The humans, with their single colonized system and handful of asteroid mining stations, were cosmic infants playing among giants. High Counselor Vexthol, an ancient being whose crystalline form had witnessed 1,000 years of galactic politics, called the session to order. Today's agenda was routine: trade disputes, territorial boundaries, and the usual posturing between the major powers. The humans weren't even scheduled to speak. That changed when the emergency transmission arrived. "High Counselor," the communications officer announced, "we're receiving a priority signal from the human colony of New Geneva." The massive viewing screen flickered to life, showing a scene of absolute horror. The human settlement was burning. Bodies, men, women, children, lay scattered across what had once been a thriving agricultural colony. The transmission was fragmentary, filled with static and desperate screams. "Zarkanian raiders," someone whispered. The council chamber fell silent. Ambassador Chen slowly rose from her seat, her face pale as she watched the destruction of her people. The Zarkanians were slavers and pirates, technically outside galactic law but tolerated because they kept to the outer rim and rarely troubled the major powers. They were efficient killers, cybernetically enhanced predators who viewed lesser species as either slaves or sport. "The colony had no defenses," Chen said quietly, her voice carrying in the hushed chamber. 2 million civilians. Farmers, scientists, children. Her hands trembled as the screen showed Zarkanian ships departing with cargo holds full of human captives. High Counselor Vexthol's crystalline form pulsed with official sympathy. "A tragic incident. We shall file a formal protest with the Zarkanian hegemony." "A protest?" Chen's voice cracked. "The Zarkanians operate beyond our jurisdiction," Zethkar interjected with barely hidden satisfaction. "These are the risks of expansion beyond one's capabilities. Perhaps humanity should reconsider its colonial ambitions." Chen looked around the chamber, seeing the same cold calculation in every alien face. To them, this was merely an unfortunate statistic. 2 million human lives meant nothing to beings who measured their own populations in the trillions. "I see," Chen said softly. She activated her communication device. "Admiral Harrison, this is Ambassador Chen. You are authorized to implement Protocol Omega." The transmission was brief, but every intelligence officer in the chamber recorded it. Within hours, the implications began to unfold across the galaxy. Earth's response was unlike anything the Council had ever witnessed. While other species would have spent months debating, forming committees, and negotiating through proper diplomatic channels, humanity acted with a swiftness that defied comprehension. The human fleet that emerged from the Sol system was not the small defensive force the galaxy expected. Ship after ship dropped out of hyperspace, massive dreadnoughts bristling with weapons that radiated energy signatures the galactic powers had never seen. The humans hadn't just been building colonies. They had been preparing for war. Admiral Harrison's voice echoed across every communication frequency in the galaxy. "The Zarkanian hegemony has committed an act of genocide against human civilians. As of this moment, a state of total war exists between humanity and all Zarkanian territories. Any who aid them, harbor them, or interfere with our response will be considered hostile combatants." The Zarkanians, confident in their reputation for brutality, initially welcomed the challenge. They had crushed dozens of species over the centuries. How dangerous could these soft-skinned primates be? The first Zarkanian stronghold fell in 6 hours. The human ships moved through space with a coordination that seemed impossible. Their weapons didn't just destroy Zarkanian vessels. They obliterated them so completely that even debris was vaporized. When the Zarkanians tried to hide behind civilian populations of other species, the humans demonstrated a terrifying precision, targeting only Zarkanian forces while leaving others untouched. But it was what happened to the Zarkanian leadership that truly shook the galaxy. The humans had done something no other species thought possible. They had tracked down every Zarkanian ship, base, and hiding place simultaneously. Not over months or years, but in a coordinated strike that spanned half the galaxy and concluded in 72 hours. The final transmission from the Zarkanian homeworld was brief. "We surrender. Please, we surrender." Admiral Harrison's response was broadcast to every corner of known space. "There is no surrender. You targeted our children." The Zarkanian hegemony, which had terrorized the Outer Rim for 3 centuries, ceased to exist in exactly 96 hours. Not a single Zarkanian military vessel remained operational. Their leaders were found in the deepest bunkers of their most protected worlds, dead by weapons that had somehow bypassed every defense. In the aftermath, as the galaxy struggled to comprehend what had just occurred, Ambassador Chen returned to the council chambers. The same beings who had dismissed human lives now watched her with something approaching terror. "The human survivors from New Geneva have been recovered," she announced calmly. "Those who survived the initial attack have been freed from Zarkanian slave ships. We've also liberated approximately 40,000 beings of various species who were being held in Zarkanian captivity. They're being returned to their respective homeworlds." High Counselor Vexthol's crystalline form flickered nervously. "The Council wishes to commend humanity's decisive action." "Do you?" Chen's smile was cold as deep space. 47 species in this council, advanced civilizations with technology that spans millennia, and not one of you lifted a finger to help when 2 million of my people were murdered." She paused, letting the weight of her words settle. "Humanity remembers its friends, High Counselor. More importantly, we remember those who are not." The message was clear. Humanity had revealed that beneath their soft exterior lay something that even the galaxy's apex predators feared. A species capable of absolute, coordinated, and inescapable vengeance. From that day forward, the Galactic Council restructured itself. Humanity was no longer seated at the junior species table. They were given a permanent seat among the senior powers with full voting rights and veto authority. Not because the galaxy respected them, but because they had learned that some species, when pushed too far, don't just fight back. They remake the rules of survival itself. The humans had taught the galaxy a lesson written in fire across the stars. Never touch their young.